Hello, Tritons.
We understand that the COVID-19 testing protocol for winter quarter is really confusing, so we're here to help break it down for you.
I am Brian Lattimore, your GPSA president.
It's Manu Agni, your AS president.
There are a few factors that play a role in determining your personal testing requirements, including whether you live on or off campus, your vaccination status, and whether you have symptoms or not.
However, regardless of whether you've been fully vaccinated, every Triton must complete a PCR COVID-19 test. Those are the ones that are in the vending machines or at UC San Diego health sites on the very first day that they are physically back on campus here in La Jolla.
After you're back on campus, the ongoing testing requirements are dictated by your vaccination status, fully vaxxed or otherwise.
So let's talk about status. Fully vaccinated is a term we've all heard thrown around quite a bit lately, and now with boosters in the mix, what exactly does it mean?
Well, it no longer refers just to your initial dose of your vaccination, because if you're eligible to be boosted, you are not fully vaccinated until you get that booster. Once you've been boosted, you're fully vaccinated. If you are not eligible to be boosted because it's been less than 6 months since your initial vaccine dose, you are also fully vaxxed until you're due for the booster. If you are unvaxxed, partially vaxxed, or vaxxed but not boosted and you're eligible to be boosted, then you are not fully vaccinated.
What does that mean for ongoing testing?
If you are fully vaccinated, including the booster if you're eligible, then it is strongly recommended that you get tested weekly. If you are not fully vaccinated, then it is required that you get tested twice a week with 3 to 5 days in between tests.
Also, remember that if you've already had COVID, you don't need to test again until 90 days after your initial positive test. Okay, that makes sense, right? But what about the different types of tests? I know that we keep hearing about rapid tests.
The rapid antigen tests are an important tool in our risk reduction strategy to keep the Triton community as safe as possible. But they don't replace the PCR tests.
And rapid tests don't count towards the weekly testing requirement that we talked about based on your vaccination status. Those tests need to be PCR.
So what about you folks that live on campus or in campus-operated housing?
That's a great and timely question. It's kind of like you read my mind. We recommend that residential students complete a rapid test 24 to 48 hours before the date that you've indicated that you're returning to campus. Housing and Dining has already been in touch with you via email about getting those tests mailed out in the next few days.
So let's say that I'm a resident and I've done my rapid test at home and I'm scheduled to come to campus tomorrow. What next?
Another really good question. What we said at the beginning still applies.
You need to knock out that PCR test on the day you physically arrive to campus.
So hit up the vending machine in your residential college,
check with the awesome THAs,
and keep that mask on until you're negative.
Then, moving forward, the vax-based status testing frequency still applies. A few things that are also important is anyone who has symptoms, regardless of your vaccination status, your major, where you live, or the color of your hair, you need to get tested ASAP.
We're really fortunate to have great access to testing all over campus. I'm sure you've seen there's tons of vending machines all over campus. Please use them.
And what about the wastewater testing?
If you get a notification that there's a positive wastewater sample in your building where you live, you also need to test immediately.
I hope that was all pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, please reach out to rtl@ucsd.edu.
And thank you, Tritons, and stay safe.
Stay safe.